time itself is a silence.
Okay, welcome to my Genshin account. A lot of you are probably wondering why it took me so long to create an account. Reason for that being is a lot of people don't like the fact that I like to flex my muscles. So what I mean by that is, I'll make it plain and simple. I go to Character Archive. There's only 2 characters that I am missing. Now, I am not a whale. I would call myself a dolphin. In the beginning, I did put a lot of money into the game because I am a collector. I have played several games. I do have everybody's outfit that has come out in the game. I do participate in majority of the events. And when it comes to actual characters, I would say I have pretty good constellations on almost everyone. Majority of my 4 stars are C6'd. I am slowly working on getting constellations for the 5 stars. It's nothing in particular that I'm going after. First and foremost priority is to get every new character first. After I get the new character, I go for their weapon. Once I have a copy of each, then I pursue constellations. But I only pursue constellations in the nature that everyone that's actively on a banner I already own. So if 2 characters come out on a banner, so for example, current banner, I do not have Kanish, but I do have Raiden. Yes, I have a C2 Raiden, and I don't use it. Weapon banner. All the 4-star weapons I have are 5 of each. Engulf Lightning, not going to lie, the last time this weapon came out, I spent $450 on just the weapon under the old pity system. Right now, not going to waste money on the weapon if I can get the character. Characters come first, weapons come second. As it pertains to reruns, so if this is not Kanish, and let's say it was another 5-star, then it would be, alright, do I have both weapons? The answer is yes. Then I just look at the constellations of what I have of each. I would then go through the process of seeing, okay, out of the characters that are available, where do I currently sit with their constellations? So, Raiden, as you guys both saw, Raiden is currently a C2. If there was another 5-star character out, let's just throw one out there, it was Ito. Well, on Ito, I also have his C2. So what I would do is anyone who I didn't have a C1 for, I would pull until I get their C1. Anyone I have a C2 for, same principle. My number one focus is to collect every character. After I have their character, I will then pull on their weapon. So Cloran, I do not have her weapon called Absolute. The next time her banner comes out, she will have her weapon Absolute. Sino. Can't tell you how many times I pulled on his weapon banner and I failed to get his weapon. Well, pity system's now different, and I'm hoping it stays that way, so I can finally give him his masterpiece that he belongs in having. But essentially, every character, with some minor exceptions, has their weapon. Got his weapon, her weapon, her weapon. Now, Milani is a little different, mostly for the fact that my pity was built very well, that I actually have her C1. So, didn't plan that. I was actually building pity for Kanish, and I ended up with her C1. Not planned, but it was her, then her weapon, then I got her C1. Farina. Similar general principle, except her weapon I actually got first. I didn't really want to pull in Farina. I think she's a little bit of a pretty two shoes, personal opinion. Nilu's weapon, don't really think it suits her. In all honesty, if I had to pick her weapon, I would give her a much prettier weapon. Like this one. I would even consider giving her this guy for more of aesthetic reasons. I could even give her Alley Flash. Here's Alley Flash. Fully prettied. Nilu, I think, is one of the most aesthetically beautiful characters in the game. Her new summertime outfit is beautiful. But yes, I try to stick to giving all their 5 stars, all their weapons. Now, in the case of Kokomi, I actually got her R2 weapon before I got her character. Mona, Child, Arlecchino, Lenny. Now, her weapon, as weird as this is gonna sound, was actually unobtainable in the game for several times. When she came out, no one pulled on her limited banner because she was gonna move to a standard character. Well, when a limited banner character becomes a standard character, their weapon becomes unobtainable for a length of time. I only got her weapon because of the Chronic Wish banner that came out a couple patches ago. The only weapon I was missing that was for a standard character. Now, I got incredibly lucky and I got it in pity and under 30, but it still didn't change the fact that I think the game was laughing at me when I did it. Hu Tao. I do not put Hu Tao's signature weapon on Hu Tao, mainly for the fact that Hu Tao performs better with Deathmatch. Kanish. Ching. 4 stars have a little bit of wiggle room. As long as the 4 stars have the main stat under what they need, as long as you can make up the difference in artifacts, you are pretty much okay with weapons. Inspiration from stories. I've read a lot of stuff about weapons. Her weapon can change. Most people put Kuki on Iron Sting for the elemental mastery. This was a limited weapon. I thought it looked better on her, and her passive works better. Sarah. This weapon, if everyone remembers from the beginning, was actually built for Razor. That is a wolf on the front, and the weapon was built for him. Lisa. Kabe, who deserves more attention than he gets. Kale, iridescent, mainly for his aesthetic look. Too bad I don't have a green that's a better green. Yes, I could give her sap. I think sap is just a little bit of a waste, but I could give her sap weapon. Essentially, some of the prettiest weapons in the game are limited, only come around for periods of time. But essentially, it's just showing sometimes you can't replace their weapon with another weapon. Knowing what weapons belong to which characters, how well they do. Character is great, regardless of what their weapon is. A lot of haters out there thinking that certain characters are only great if they are maximized, if they take part in a certain team build. Every character deserves the spotlight, even if you don't like them. I get it. Part of its playstyle, part of its aesthetics, part of its looks. Some people hate the fact that I main Kaching. She's a B. B ranking. The ranking system is actually based off the likelihood that you would put them in to Spiral Abyss. I am someone who personally dislikes Spiral Abyss. I think the game should be played the way you want to play it. So my Elite Four is 1, 2, 3, 4. He's a C6, she's a C6, he's a C5. I got his C5 on the freebie this year, and she is a C1. Hida is probably on one of the best sets in the game. I was someone who worked really hard to get it up here. Let's see where she normally is. Her Elemental Mastery right now is at 724. I have a build for her where she's over 1,000. But it's not on her set. He's built really well. He has his personal weapon, which also disappeared from the game for a while. He is on the set he needs to be on. She is almost perfect. Reason why I say that is I use the abilities that came out with creating artifacts to create this artifact for her. This was the one that was crafted. This one is so good I might not replace it. I do need a new attack percent on this one. Once the system comes back around, I will fix it and make a new artifact. But, as you can see, her crit damage is through the roof. That's because I focus really hard on making sure she is my top performing dog. C6. This took me over 3 years to master and get. Yes, she is triple crowned. She has her outfit from the event, and she is beautiful. She is my waifu. Then when it comes to other characters, I am working on getting every character to level 90. Whether they deserve to be at level 90 is up to me, not up to you. My level 90 characters right now are actually being used in Spiral Abyss. They are not perfect. They are getting there. But they have their maximum level, their weapon at max, their artifacts are a work in progress, and their talents are pretty high. I am working on getting everyone in the teapot under certain friendship level as well. I have been playing since mid to late May of 2021. I've been playing Genshin Impact because my wonderful friends decided it was a good idea to introduce me to a big, vast world. I'm one of those people that 100% each region. Yes, if you are currently looking at my resin and you're going to yell at me saying, why do you have so much resin? It's because a couple weeks ago I was farming in the game to level up characters as fast as I could before the new patch dropped. And the new patch referring to this wonderful area that we are now going to explore. I am that person that tries to get every inch of everything. Now, I have not done any of the epic battles. I've done none of the wind-up stones. I have tried. Not a fan. Today is about venturing outward and collecting whatever treasure I am still lacking. Please disregard the fact if you hear snapping or noises in the background. I do have 3 cats that like to create problems from time to time because they don't appreciate the fact that I do this for fun and I don't keep them in the loop. Saurians. My favorite Saurian right now is this little guy. Mainly for the fact that I can dig and mine with him. Mining is so enjoyable this way. You don't have Zhongli. This is your new way of mining. Earlier, I did a video with my friend. We're doing story quests today. Might not get all 3 of them done, but I definitely am making an effort to get some of them done today. Come back at 6:30 for a separate stream where we are going to be talking about Emily, the wonderful person. We are going to do a video on Emily and her quest, everything that pertains to her. Siegeween is going to be done last. It's a very sad and epic tale. I have all of the hangouts completed. I have all of the canopy ones finished, except for the new one that will be coming out. So I am very much excited and looking forward to what is next. The announcement was earlier today. So 5.1, definitely very excited, very much looking forward to the new content that's coming out. I really like where the game is going with game mechanics. It's about time. Some of those game mechanics I know have been talked about for a while among the different streaming people out there. There's quite a few of you that actually follow and look up to, so to speak. There will be a separate video that I'll make as it tributes to each of the people I personally follow, just because this video is all about showing you how I play Natlan, how I explore, and collecting treasure while we complete the map. I love it with the Saurians. You can jump into other... You can interrupt a battle by jumping in and becoming a Saurian. What did all of you name your Saurians? So, I took a page out of Pokemon. I named mine after a Pokemon character. If you can try to guess which Pokemon character looks very much like our new friend. I did have one friend name him Hash Brown. Made Paimon mad because he looked like food at that point. So there is a Hash. My friend named it Hash Brown. My other one named it George. I had a couple other people name it. One called it Mr. Rock. Didn't quite get the concept of where the Mr. part came into play. I had someone name it Dino with a D-Y-N-O. I knew one other person named it something funny. Mine's named after a legendary Pokemon from one of the best Pokemon games in the franchise. I revealed the name of my fellow companion at the end of my next video of Emily. So if you want to leave a like and a comment of this video, I will much appreciate it. Trying to do this a lot more frequently than I have been doing it. I need my Saurian. Oops. I need my buddy. Come on, buddy. Trying to do this pretty much every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, depending on what day of the week it is and what day of the month it is. I am planning on doing this with friends. I'm working on getting the proper equipment to do this in my room, but right now I am limited to what my console can do. More for the general principle of I would like to stream more frequently, more often, and with better equipment. I find the game fascinating, especially with more content coming out. I want to do live streams. My YouTube page with streaming is still relatively new. I've only been posting content of my pets for the last, I want to say, almost 3 months. I do need 50 subscribers. Currently I have 23 at the time this video was made. I do need 50 subscribers in order to do anything live from my phone. So I am restricted on what I can do with YouTube at the moment. If you guys so kindly would make recommendations to your friends and see if they would want to subscribe to me, it will help me out immensely. because it will give me an opportunity to show you new things and new content as it appears. One of the other things I'm looking forward to doing is teaching you and educating others as it pertains... as it pertains to different opportunities within... Sorry, my cats are being cats. Get down! You got fed! Sorry, my cats act like they're privileged. And if they don't get what they want when they want it, they throw temper tantrums. I want to... Oh. That took a while for it to play catch up. That's fine. But yeah, so essentially at the end of the day, just trying to make this my second source of income. My current job is a wonderful job, but I do have limitations on it. I have been out sick from work for the last few days. Working for college is never fun. You're surrounded by kids all the time. I'm getting sick, handling money. I've been in retail far too long, so trying to find something else to do with my life that doesn't involve the mercy of someone else. Don't hate on me. I actually love retail. Retail's been where I've been for a very, very long time. I just would appreciate the break from time to time. Let's see. I worked several kinds of jobs over the years, and all that fun stuff. Alright, so Genshin theories. I have been watching several different people. So I'm going to give a shout out to all of the people that I currently actively watch, just so you have an interest in what I'm doing. You can reach out to them and watch their content. They've given me inspiration. I actually have them on, I wouldn't call them speed dial, but I definitely watch their content pretty frequently. So the first one I want to give a shout out to, I've been watching his content a lot lately. He does some really cool stuff. So it's going to be Doro44. You are probably one of the funniest human beings that I like to listen to. The second person that I want to give out a shout out to is Ashtakai. If I pronounced your name wrong, I am sorry. I sometimes say things without fully understanding how to properly say them. Another streamer that has a lot of good ideas behind what's going on in the game is Mainslif. You are very fun to watch. More for the principle of I do like enjoying your theories, so I don't have to read about them. So I'm mimicking what your motto is. I read the Genshin lore so you don't have to. So I very much appreciate the fact that I learn a lot from you. Another big name on that list that I do watch is called the Unexpected Genshin Gamer. Sounds like they have been around for a bit, but are also new to a lot of Genshin material. I do watch videos that come from the Genshin Chronicles. So everyone that I just made an announcement to, you guys are all really good at what you do. You're really good at your craft. And I am a subscriber to each and every one of you. As it pertains to this video, so a lot of my friends actually encouraged me to start making Genshin videos, more for the fact that my brain works very differently than most people does. Most other people do. So I'm autistic. I fall in love with games. I fall in love with the creativity, the style, the play style, the game mechanics, the lore, The reason why I keep coming back to a game is its lore. The part that makes it worthwhile. And in Genshin, I love the fact the story is one giant mystery. The best part about the story right now is we're learning that, other than the fact our sibling is missing, that our sibling might have done things that they're not proud of. That they probably done things that we would frown upon. But what makes the story interesting is the fact that maybe our sibling is being manipulated by another party. Now, that party could be a good guy, a bad guy. I don't think the Fatui is behind the manipulation. I think our sibling is willingly doing what they have to survive. At the end of Bedtime Story, even though the world we were in when we were talking to our sibling ended up being untethered, we were separated, we don't remember. However, we do have a photo of a time we're trying to remember. Kari Bear. Wonderful story. It's a shame Kari Bear lost his life. But I do think there is some truth behind that story. So one of the things that I was impressed by the most comes down from the fact that Kari Bear brought up a valid point that we're all stuck in someone else's reality. And as much as we want to be the best, we can't always be the best. So, I think the Loom of Fate is a metaphor for the ability to change how the world works. So you have 3 different groups of people right now that are all trying to change fate. You have us as the Traveler, which I don't think we're trying to change it, it's just something we were handed. So I'm not saying that it was our plan to make fate different, but I think it's something that we are trying to improve, or trying to prevent fate from changing for the wrong reasons. The other fate obsessor is the Tsaritsa. I think the Tsaritsa's fate more so comes from her desire to want to feel like she means something to her people. I'm not saying that what she did was wrong, and I'm not saying that how she's handling it is wrong. I just think how things are going about. When Dainsleif said in the beginning of the story, he's like, she has no more love left for her people. And I think part of her sadness, and I could be wrong, but this is speculation, I think part of her sadness originates from a belief that maybe she can't save her people. That she has to be the shepherd that guards that pretty much shepherds the sheep into a certain direction. I think that she's doing what she feels is best so that her people no longer suffer. Everyone's truth is their own perception. It's not necessarily something that is accurate, that has to be accurate, that it's one way or the highway. Everyone's truth is their own, as long as you can prove that your truth means something more than what it is. So we have the Traveler, whose main purpose right now is to find their sibling and go home. Because they've never lived without their sibling. This is the first time that we have experienced that the Traveler is without their sibling. Now, whether or not this is a good thing or a bad thing, we don't know. But right now, our number one focus is to find our sibling. Our sibling's goal seems to be to rid the world of its pain and suffering. And I'm going to call it pain and suffering because they picked probably the worst person to make an ally. Like I said, I'm not saying that the Fatui are bad or the Abyss are bad. It's just their perception of truth. The Fatui think they're doing everyone good by handling things the way they are. They're assassins. They're going out, they're solving problems, they're creating a feeling that everything is being handled properly. Beyond that, I do think the Fatui have a larger goal in mind. I think most of the Fatui, it lines up with what's going on, but I don't think it's 100% perfect. In terms of our sibling, I think what's going on with our sibling is, I don't want to say our sibling's confused. I think our sibling knows exactly what they're doing. They're just... Let's say the theory is true, that our sibling witnessed the destruction of Conria. So I am one of those theorists that believe that Conria, that we crash landed on this planet at the same time, and only one of our bodies woke up. So the sibling you don't pick in the beginning of the game wakes up, witnesses a disaster, or witnesses a disaster about to happen, or finds out information about what's going to happen, and realizes that the people of Conria, or the sages of Conria, are going to desert Conria. So let's say that the apocalypse is about to hit the people. Everyone higher up knows what's going on, except the people. Wouldn't you want to flee at that point? So I think what happened in the beginning of the film, or the beginning of the game, is that we came here looking for the answers to our ancestors. Looking for a way to help us phone home, essentially. And I think what we found was something I wouldn't say that we were embarrassed or ashamed of, but I definitely feel like whatever we found scared us into thinking that maybe what's about to happen to the planet happened to our home planet, and our home planet was destroyed. Maybe the sages of Conria know what happened to us, and why we're traveling from planet to planet looking for home. Why we're looking for what's next in our life. That's what I truly believe. That we discovered something that we didn't want to know about our home planet when we were in Conria. Now, the sibling you end up picking was sleeping. I don't think it was intentional to be that way. If I had to take a gamble, I would put all my stones and all of my fate into the reality that our sibling knows more than they give off. That being said, I do feel like, to a degree, there is something that we are trying to resolve that is still hard for us to come to terms with. I think the siblings avoiding us to avoid that confrontation. They said that we always had time. We never ran out of time. We have plenty of time.
Time to act.
So I think when we once upon a time landed here, we were under a different time period, a different ruler. And it was way before Conria's destruction. I think our sibling discovered something that was going to happen to this planet that either they didn't want to be a part of it, or they wanted us to flee before the destruction happened. Then we tried to leave. Knowing that the Heavenly Principles knew what we knew of what was coming next, they stopped us. Pretty much as a, great, you're gonna cast aside the people that you promised to protect. What if I told you they knew the answer to what happened to your homeland? What if these people are the reincarnation of your homeland? It's very possible that Teyvat is our home planet that just got wiped out and came back to life on its own. It's also possible that what's going on in Teyvat currently is so far into the future that we don't even recognize it anymore. We've been traveling for thousands and thousands of years. So, my one major theory, and I will probably make an official video with a script at a later point, going into the full details of why I think my theory is the way it is. But I really do believe that we came to this planet because we were summoned. And I think we were summoned here not for the purpose of what we thought when we arrived. Maybe we were the original inhabitants of this planet. Maybe it's a possibility that we are originally from Conria, back when Conria thrived and was not falling apart. Anything, theoretically, is possible. How I look at it is, I feel like Conria is something that was going to happen regardless of what ended up happening. I think Conria was a means to an end. And not saying that in like any kind of negative terms, not saying it's Dainslift's fault. I do think Dainslift didn't help the situation. But I do think, to a degree, there is some truth to that. So, based off the timeline I believe to be the events, is that we came to the planet because we wanted to phone home, go home. We came home. The planet we thought was home didn't look the same. But only one of us woke up. Maybe went into town, befriended people, stayed here a while. Let's say we heard something we weren't supposed to. Then the whole situation changes. Because if you heard something you weren't supposed to, things change. Let's say that's true. Let's say the events changed because we heard something we weren't supposed to. So we go and wake up our sibling so that we can go home. No point in sticking around if all we're going to do is waste our time. So let's say we went home, or tried going home. Well, now you bring up the conversation of, okay, the Heavenly Principles blocked our way. Why? Why did they block our way? Because that part was never made clear. Why all of a sudden did they block our way? My belief of why they blocked our way comes down to the principle of we learned something we weren't supposed to know. We discovered something that might have been a secret, might have been what Sun and Moon was about, might have been endless possibilities. I think we discovered something we weren't supposed to know. Upon said discovery, we then realized that, oh, we need to go. They're about to annihilate. Let's say it's genocide. They were going to commit genocide and kill everybody. It didn't matter who got caught in the crossfire. Let's say everyone committed a sin and they wanted to destroy the evidence before it got worse. So, on our way leaving, we were then roped into or sucked into this belief that we can't leave. Well, what do you do then? Of course, you're going to fight for the general principle. So I think what happened is we were separated by time. Our person kept saying over and over and over again that we have plenty of time. You're right, we do. We do have plenty of time. But is that what we need? So essentially, I'm going to prove how the story in my head plays out, and how, based off how I view the story, is going to determine how the ending happens. Now, every mechanic that comes out in the game so far has shown that there's going to be more and more dreamscape that we're going to be learning, to where eventually we're going to be told how the story's going to end before it actually ends up happening. So, what I mean by that is eventually we're going to learn the truth before the truth happens. And I think the truth that we're going to have to learn or afraid to learn is going to mostly come from the principle of we're not supposed to be here. We're only here because of someone else's mistake. Let's say King Ermin did summon us. Let's say a long time ago we were descendants of Conria, the original Conria, not the Conria that's ruled by sages and the sinners and all the horrible, horrible people of the world. But let's say Conria, we are from Conria. And the genie, the whole genie in the desert of Sumeru, if you haven't done it yet, spoiler warning, you learn about your past in Conria. I won't go into details if you haven't done it, but when I make my official video explaining my theory and why I think what's going to happen is going to happen the way it is, I will do disclaimers, spoiler warnings, and give you what you need to know before feedback actually launches. So back to, I know I go off in tangents and I'm very sorry. I am unscripted at the moment. I'm just exploring, getting stuff done before I have to go into my next live stream. So how I view what's going on is, I think essentially at the end of the day, we belong to Conria. Nothing has changed. The only thing that I wish I knew a little bit more about is what makes us so special to Conria. Other than the fact that their job was to find someone that would battle the rival of Conria itself. But how I view it right now is based off what's currently going on, and I'll make my video after we find out what happens with the art conquest in Natlan, because I'm not going to do it before. I think ultimately what we're going to go down to is, why are we here? What about part of why we're here? Why does it matter? And then, where do we see ourselves moving forward? The first part of my video is going to be going over a animation short that China made last year to celebrate the 3-year anniversary of Genshin. I'm going to start there. I'm going to talk about all the different elements in that video that have purpose. Once that video is done, I will then collect my thoughts, collect my videos, and start talking about where I believe Natlan is going. Or not necessarily Natlan, but where everything else is going. And from there, I do feel that we will have an answer on what's going to go on. I, like I said, personally believe that what's about to happen is that we are ancestors of Natlan, or we are ancestors of Conria, and Conria is going to change our perspective of what we know about what's going on. I'm not saying Dainsleif is our brother. I'm not necessarily implying anything in that nature, but I do want to get into detail about where my theory goes. Alright, I know it's just a bunch of rambling. I appreciate you listening to the rambling. If you think my theory is a pretty cool theory and would like to know more, please stay tuned. The video, if everything works out for me personally with my personal life, the video should be out before November. Because one big theory and then proving it comes with a lot of work. Kinda can't wait, personally, but yeah, I'm gonna prove why we're here, what's our purpose, why does the Limb of Fate either improve or affect our ability to accomplish our goal. And I want to make it very early on prediction, so if I end up being correct, I might just give MiHoYo go in one direction. Alright, thank you for all sitting in on my wonderful Natlan adventure. I will be broadcasting again shortly. Hope to see you all soon. Bye.